This video is sponsored by the EA Creator Network. As a member of the network, I'm given the game codes for free, and as such, I'm required to disclose this within my content. Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far, and thank you so much for joining me here today. We're not building a house and we're not decorating an apartment. As you can see, we are building a big community lot in Oasis Springs, and I'm so excited to be able to share this with you all. We are building on this 40 by 30 lot and we are turning this into a bowling alley slash arcade slash bar slash hangout area. There's a place where your Sims can throw kids' birthday parties. I just wanted this lot to kind of have like a multi-purpose. I wanted it to be fun, vibrant, full of colour, and I'm pretty sure I achieved that with this. If you follow me on any of my social media channels, then you will have already seen some behind the scenes sneak peeks of this particular build. I do not know what happened to me yesterday morning. I woke up and I thought, do you know what? I think I might attempt a community lot today. And that is exactly what I did. I really surprised myself with this. Going into this, I had kind of a vision, it was very loose. And when I started building this, I was like, this is huge. This is a massive lot. And it's really funny because from the thumbnail at the front, and I think the pictures that I've sort of shared on my social medias, you can't really tell how big it is. And then when you get onto the inside, because the bowling lanes take up so much space, I had no idea they took up that much space, by the way. You can tell I've never built a lot like this before, but the bowling lanes took up so much space and I was like, okay, so it's huge, but then I didn't know how to sort of section off different areas, and I'm going to be honest, this build is a lot bigger than me, and I don't just mean in terms of size, I'm meaning I was so out of my comfort zone with this. But you know what, I'm actually really proud of myself. I actually managed to get this done and it looks half decent, so I'm just really excited. And when I started playtesting the lot as well, this lot is completely playtested, everything works as intended. But when I started to playtest it and all the Sims started flooding in and I could see them bowling and hanging out at the bar and playing on the arcade games, it just filled me with this immense amount of joy. And I just thought, I need a lot like this in my game, so I figured that you guys might need a lot like this too. So I'm really excited to be able to share this with you. But as you can see, the exterior has kind of started to take shape and I'm saying kind of quite loosely because there was a lot of toing and froing with this, because if you've been around my channel for a while, you'll know that I'm quite picky, I'm quite finicky, I'm a perfectionist. I start messing with things and sort of trying to work out what works, what doesn't work, and this was no exception, of course, because that's just what I do anyway. So I did have to step away for a little bit. However, I did actually manage to finish this in just a few hours. It didn't really take me as long as I had anticipated it was going to take me. I think because once I started to get into the groove of it and I started to get more comfortable with the build itself, it just all started to flow, and I'm just thrilled with how this turned out. You'll have to let me know, because this has actually been on the gallery for just over a day at this point, and it's actually had a few downloads so far, so like more than I would have anticipated. So if you have downloaded this lot, please tell me your thoughts, because I'd be so excited to kind of learn what they are and what your Sims have been doing here. And I'll talk a little bit more about it when we get onto the interior. But I actually created like a space where you can throw kids' birthday parties, as I'd mentioned at the beginning of the video, which I just thought was such a sweet idea. I was initially going to add a restaurant in here, but then I figured there's a bar and you can order food at the bar. And I also put a vending machine from high school years at the back. But again, I'll talk a little bit more about that when we move on to the interior of this build. But I didn't really want it to be a restaurant-y type of build. I definitely wanted it to be a little bit more laid back than that. So I'm pretty sure we achieved that with this. But yes, we are continuing working on the exterior here, and as you can see, the colour schemes come together rather well. I opted for like an orange / turquoise with pops of yellow and red, and then when we move on to the interior, I just really went nuts with the entire colour scheme, and I don't know what came over me. I'm not afraid of colour. I really like playing around with colour and working out what colours go together well and how far I can actually push it, because I have been known to create quite colourful interiors and exteriors as well, but I seem to have toned back a little bit recently. So this was a super fun build to actually get involved in for me. And also creating this build has made me realise that I would definitely like to build more community lots and share them on the channel. So if you've got any ideas in particular, then please drop me some comments down below. Drop me any ideas that you would like. I'm kind of thinking of creating like a movie theatre and a restaurant, a gym, a library, a museum, and just kind of pushing the boat out a little bit more with my content and trying to kind of build my skills as a builder as well. Does that make sense? I think it's really easy. I do talk about this quite a lot, to kind of do things that are comfortable. And whilst I love doing things that are comfortable because I know that they're going to turn out half decent, it's really nice to kind of push yourself to do something like this as well, where you just do something completely different and it actually turns out a lot better than you would have thought. And I know I've mentioned in the past as well regarding a save file, and it is something that I'm asked relatively frequently, both on my YouTube channel and particularly on Tumblr as well. I post on Tumblr a lot, it's where I kind of came from, but it's regarding a save file, like, Rach, do you have a save file? Are you working on a save file? Do you have a version of a save file that I can download? And the answer to that is I'm not actively working on a save file. I don't have a save file out. However, when I was building this, I was thinking, well, actually, this could be like a really good sort of gateway into creating a save file. I have hundreds of builds that I've sort of worked on over the years, and I could definitely put a save file together. So I'm thinking perhaps now that I'm a little bit more confident and comfortable in building community lots, because in truth, that's kind of what's been stopping me from creating a save file, is that I didn't really think that I could build a community lot, and I know I've started out, I'd say relatively small. I know this is quite a big build, but with something that's remotely comfortable for me, you know, with all the colours and things and the fun sort of idea, I do think that it's perhaps given me the confidence that I needed to actually start that officially. So we'll have to see. It's maybe something that we could work on live streams or in real-time videos where, you know, we place lots down and kind of tweak them, or I don't know, it's just some ideas that are running through my head at the moment in terms of like my content and my save files and kind of the future and stuff like that. Anyway, we have moved on to the interior as I've been having a little ramble. So as you can see, here are the bowling lanes. So if you are not familiar, we do have a bowling stuff pack. What is it called? Is it called Bowling Night? Yes, a Bowling Night stuff pack. And in truth, I haven't really used a lot of these items in the past because they are so, I would say, niche to a bowling alley, and because I've never built one before, I have never really felt the need to actually use them. However, obviously with it being a bowling alley, I used a lot of the items in this build, and I always thought it was a bit of a silly stuff pack, in truth, and I'm just being honest with you guys for now. I always thought it was a little bit of a silly stuff pack, but after creating this and using so many of the items, I actually realized how cool this stuff pack is, and it's actually a really well-rounded stuff pack. It's got heaps of items, it's got tons of gameplay features, and it's a really good stuff pack. So if it is one that you're in the market for, or you're kind of thinking, oh well, you know, I'm not sure I'll use it, definitely have a think first. But it's definitely one that I can recommend. And I am going to make a disclaimer right here and now. I do end up pushing these chairs way back. So when I was playtesting this, I was realizing that I was trying to think, because I for the interior and the exterior of this, I didn't really use any reference images. I just kind of went off and did my own thing. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. You'll have to let me know how you think it turned out. I think it turned out pretty nicely, but anyway. So when you go bowling, you need a little bit of a run up with the ball, you know, to chuck it down the alley. And I realised that these chairs are so incredibly close, and I realised that they were too close. So what I end up doing is I end up actually pushing the exterior wall out to give some more room, and then I push the chairs back all the way up to the wall so that your Sims kind of have their own spaces, and it just made a lot more sense in my head. So yeah, I did just want to mention that and put that out as a disclaimer, because I know that people are going to be thinking, ooh, those chairs are a little bit close there, Rach. They are 100%, but it's something that I fixed, but I did not do it on camera. Anyway, we are now making kind of like where you would walk in and sort of check in and get your shoes and sort out the weight of your ball and things. I have not been bowling since I was very young. We used to go a lot. I used to love bowling. Was I good at it? Absolutely not, but I used to love going for the atmosphere, and we had a place quite like this near to where I grew up actually. It's now called 10 Pin, but I can't remember what it used to be called. And they had an arcade, a bar, bowling lanes, definitely wasn't a restaurant, but there was a place where you could eat. And so I was perhaps taking inspiration from that while I was building this, and the memories that were coming back, I just feel like I recently built a caravan. Yeah, it was a caravan, and I was explaining that when I was building that, I was getting all these memories sort of flooding back to me because I used to go on caravan holidays with my family, and that was bringing back memories. And I think when I was building this as well, I had just this big smile on my face while I was building it, because I just thought I didn't grow up bowling, not at all, but we definitely used to go a lot. And it was really cool actually, because where the place was where you could go bowling, very, very close to that, there was a cinema and there were restaurants and stuff like that. And I just think, yeah, I definitely feel like I took inspiration from that, you know. And then I realized that we need little screens on here so that when you get a strike, there's like a little video that plays. And yes, when I was playtesting this, I did realize that there's actually screens built into the lanes themselves, like at the bottom. But I figured like having the screens on there too just adds that level of realism, and I think it just really put the icing on the cake for that area. And you can see there, that's where I've pushed the chairs back. It just makes a lot more sense, and there's a lot more room for your Sims to kind of congregate and do what they need to do. The bar area is finished. I'm just adding some like decorative pieces over here. I'm just making it look a little bit funky, a little bit cooler. I ended up putting the backlit TV from the new Party Essentials kit on the wall as well, because it's got the ambient lighting on the back, so I thought that looked really cool. And speaking of the Party Essentials kit, I actually used quite a few of those items in the area that I created to throw kids parties. I added like the disco ball and the balloons, which we talked about the balloons in my overview of that kit, so I'm not going to harp on about the shape of the balloons, but if you know, you know. Anyway, we've now moved on to the bathroom area. I'm gonna be honest, this was kind of an oversight of mine when I was building the exterior of this, but it was very easily remedied. All I did was take off the windows off that portion of the build and kind of just sectioned it off. I thought it worked out really well actually. So there's just 3 cubicles in here, 3 sinks, a mirror, some like little hand sanitizer things with the paper towels. I have watched so many people use them in builds, and I've been like, where on earth do you find those? And how I managed to do that, I have no idea, but I managed to find them, so yay me. And then this is where like the arcade area is, so your Sims can play games, like arcade games. I don't really know what games your Sims can actually play over here, but yeah, I added this area here. I also added like a seating area, so there's plenty of room for your Sims to sit and just chill out as well. And whilst I was playing in this lot, I did notice that there was constantly just like, there was music blasting and there were just really good vibes, I'm going to be honest. And okay, so this sign that's going up here, this is from the Party Essentials kit, and I figured every time I went bowling as a kid, I don't know whether this was just a me thing or whatever, there always seemed to be a kids' party being thrown in the bowling alley, like always. So I thought, do you know what, it would be a really cool idea, let's add some balloons, and like maybe that sign is, oh, it's Josh's birthday, like head to the back and drop your presents off and then we'll start bowling, sort of thing. So that's kind of my mindset that I had with that. I hope that makes sense, but I just thought it was a really cute addition because I like I said a couple of minutes ago, I kind of forgot about that kit, and I just thought, if I'm not going to use it in this build, I'm never going to use it. So I figured, why the heck not? I just thought it was a really good way to do it. And then I was like, okay, so maybe I should add like a little table over here. I don't know what I was thinking with this in truth, because I ended up removing it and just thinking, well, I don't know why I'm doing this. So I end up moving that eventually. I can't remember if I do it on camera or off camera, sorry. I do some tweaks as I was mentioning at the beginning, off camera and just like finicky bits. Nothing major. I definitely kept all major footage in. 99% of the footage of the build is in this video. I don't like to cut too much out, but I also don't really like to show you guys the boring bits. So there we are. I just throw some what am I doing? I just throw some bowling balls there because that's kind of realistic. And then, okay, yes, this is where the kids' party area is. This is my pride and joy of this build. I had no idea what I wanted to add here. So what we end up adding here is like there's a karaoke machine, there's a smoke machine, there's lights, there's like the invisible dance floor from the new Party Essentials kit so that your Sims can get down with it, and there's tables so like maybe they've grabbed a snack from the vending machine or a snack from the bar, and it's just like a really, really cool space for, again, I envisioned kids' birthday parties. It doesn't have to be kids' birthday parties. It could be like any age sim. It doesn't really matter, but this was kind of what I had in my mind for this area. So there's like neon lights on the wall, there's posters. I love the fact that I added a karaoke machine in here as well, because I didn't really know what else to add. In truth, there's some speakers here, and then I was like, there's got to be a karaoke machine. I've just got to do it. And then we have like a huge karaoke machine with like a screen. And then we've got the smaller one, which is slightly more discreet. So I figured, yeah, let's put that there. This is just where I add the tables. And then I'm just taking the same chairs from the front because I figured that's kind of realistic. Like, why would you not have the same chairs just throughout the entire build? So that's what I end up doing there. And then for some reason, I struggled so badly with what to put behind here. And looking back, I don't think I really needed to put anything, but I was just overthinking it. I don't know why. I was just overthinking it. Are we surprised? No, absolutely not. I overthink everything when it comes to my builds. So anyway, I just end up throwing a poster behind here, I think, but I can't remember if I changed that up. Just put some lights over the tables. The lights are from the Bowling Night stuff pack. And again, just adding another sign here from the Party Essentials kit, just to kind of illustrate that that's where the party is, you know, just in case you could not tell. And then this is where I decided to add like some piles of presents. So just to kind of, again, tell the story of it's a birthday party, we'll put the pile of presents here and maybe they're going to open them after their lunch or whatever the case may be. So that's why I added that down there. And then this wall, for some reason, I had no idea what to put here. So this is when I just start pulling out like trinkety bits and trying to figure out what else I can throw down to kind of just add to the vibes, I guess. I just went nuts with the color. Like, look at all these colors. It's so vibrant. My eyes kind of sting a little bit, but you know, it's a bit of fun, isn't it? It's just a bit of fun, and I think it works super well. And yeah, I do end up putting a vending machine just on the left hand side of the bathroom door, just because. And then I end up adding some bike racks out here, so perhaps your Sims have ridden their bikes here. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this build. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you would like to download this build from the gallery, my origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box just down below. You can get them for free from Sim File Share. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. You all take care, and I will see you again next time. Bye!